Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about C-More EA9 HMI series panel object list shapes. Now, detailed information contained in this video can be found at accautomation.ca. A link has been put in the description below. If you have not watched the other videos yet, there will be links in the description below that will start you at video 1. There will be links to the rest of the videos in the series as well. So the C-More HMI Panel software uses virtual components called objects, and these objects are programmable to simulate the functions that you require on your automation project. Push buttons, switches, meters, and graphs are just a few of the objects that are available to you. Now you can place several of these objects on one panel screen and have multiple panel screens. This helps you produce simple, intuitive looking human-machine interfaces, or HMI. We will be looking at the program that we've developed so far and add shapes to a new screen. Now these shapes can move and resize when we're interacting with the PLC, so we create an animated type of environment. Now the navigation of the objects and additional information will be discussed as well. So let's get started, and we'll take a look at our screen up here, and we currently have the 3 pages. We have our main screen that we did with our touch button, and then we have our error messages here, and then we have our common screen menu, which we did previously as well. So what we want to do is add another screen, and before we do that, you'll see that we have the navigation, the property list, the object layer list, we have the parts list, and we have the object list. And these correspond to these colors up here. So the red turns off and on the navigation, our pink turns off our property list, then we have our yellow object layer list, then we have our green, which is our object list, and then we have our blue, which is our parts list. So we can turn all those off and create more space, or we can put them all back on again. And one other way to get to our objects is actually going to the object on the main menu here, and then we go down to shapes, and then we can select whether we want to align, triangle, circle, triangle, or frame. So just another way of looking at this. So back to our adding a new screen. Up here we can hit the plus, and we'll leave this screen number 3. And on screen number 3, we'll actually give this a screen name of object shapes. And here we can actually write a description of what this actually screen will do. We'll just leave that blank for now. So we'll just hit OK. And now we have our object screen here. Now, with our common screen menu, what we'll do is we will enable on this screen the background screen for us. So we'll enable menu, we'll put that on. Then what we'll do is our show background. We will select the background screen as our common screen menu, and then you'll see this actually appear below here. So here's our screen number 3. So we'll turn that back off now. And what we'll now have to do is go back to our common screen menu, and because we have a select screen, we'll click it and go to our actual screen. And now you'll see our available screens. Now it has our object screen page, or screen number 3. And we want to add this to the current screen buttons that we have. So we'll just hit OK since we've added that. Now when we hit this, we'll actually see screen number 3. So going back to screen number 3, now we can start looking at our objects. Now this program that we're going to write with our objects will need some tags, and if we look under the tag database name, I've already installed those, and we're going to be using 8 different tags. We'll have a line visible, a triangle visible, circle visible, triangle visible, and frame visible. At the same time, we'll use the X movement and the Y movement, a rotation movement, and a shape size. So that'll give us our movement of our objects on our screen. So let's hit OK for now. And the first shape that we have is a line. So when we hit line, you'll also see the parts. We can actually use a part, but we'll create everything from scratch here. And we'll drag that line onto our field. And the first thing will come up is our line properties. And let's just change this to a thick line. We'll leave the color as black. We'll actually put an arrow on the one side. And you'll also see that we can change the line style. Then there's an advanced button. We'll click it. And you can see that we can actually change the line color when it's on or off, but we will disable that. Then we'll see under the options, you can see that we make visible, so we want to do that, and we'll select that line visible tag that we had before right here. Hit OK, and then the object is visible when the address value is on, so that's correct. So we'll just hit OK. All right, and that will actually make that visible. Our movement, we will use moving, and let's use X and Y. And under the X, we will use our X accent movement. And under the Y, use our Y. Then under our length or our size, we can make this actually grow. So we'll use the size, and what we'll do is we'll give the tag name shape size. And our PLC value, we're going to be using our Do-More simulator, so it's going to have values 0 to 4095. And our animation length, this will be our resolution of our screen. So depending on what size screen you have, depends on what the resolution is going to be when you actually put these values. I will put 4095 because this is an experiment, and we will see how that will work. Then under the rotation, we'll use the rotation, and again we will choose our rotation movement. Hit OK, and then again we'll scale this 0 to 4095, and this will do the rotation, and the rotation type will be left. We could actually choose right depending on which way you want it to rotate, either clockwise or counterclockwise. And then that represents our degrees, 0 to 360. So we'll just hit OK. And now we'll position this, and let's position this right up in the corner. That looks good. And our line is now programmed. Next, let's program our rectangle. Again, we'll do the same thing. We'll draw this onto the line here. We'll actually now take a look at all the parameters, and what we'll do is we'll make that line thicker, 4, and then our line color, let's put it as blue, and again we can hit our advanced, and it gives us some more options to do this. So here we can put in a fill, do different colors. We'll go under the option again and put the visibility. We'll choose our tag that we have for our rectangle visibility. We'll go under the movement. Again, we'll use our XY. Choose our X. And then we'll choose our Y. Then under our size, we'll use the size. We'll use the X tag and the Y tag. And what we'll do is we'll change our X and Y for our sizing with the same value. So it'll grow proportionally the same. So we'll choose the size shape tag. There we go. And our scaling, Let's do 4095, and we'll keep the 4095 for everything that we do here. So we have our size, and then lastly our rotation. We use our rotation. We'll check that we have our tag for rotation. And again, 4095 represents 0 to 360. So we'll hit OK. And again, we will drag this and we'll put this up in the upper right corner as well. So now we've had two of our objects. Our circle object, we will drag it on the screen now. And let's change it again to a width of 4. Our color, this time we'll choose red. And we will click the advance. Again, with all these objects, we can actually add a description, so we can come back later and actually view what we're going to be looking at here. And under the option, we can hit visibility, and we'll look for our circle. Hit OK. And again, the object is visible when the address is on. Our movement, we're going to use movement. Well, again, X and Y. We'll plot the X and the Y axis. Under size, again, this shows a sizing as X and Y. So again, we'll use the same parameter. We'll use the size, and 0 to 495. And then under the Y, we'll do the same thing. Use the size. And again, 4095 and 4095. And then with rotation, we will use rotation as well. So you can actually see all of these functions that we're doing. OK. And our rotation now is complete. We'll hit OK for that. And now we can position our circle onto our screen. Just like that. Next, a triangle. We'll drag the triangle on here. And again, we will make the line width 4. Our color, we'll actually do a green now. We'll do a dark green. There we go. Then we'll do an advance. And again, what we'll do is under our options, we'll make visible. And that is our triangle. Then we have our movement. And you notice that instead of doing XY movement for this, let's do our point animation. And we will actually use our first one, our first tag, so our X. And this will actually show you how the point animation works. And we'll do a ratio. Scaling is going to be 0 to 4095. Right. Then what we'll do is we'll set our moving line setup. So that brings us into another screen here. And this other screen actually will tell us exactly how we are going to manipulate this variable. So from here, we're actually going to move it from the upper location, or let's move it around here. So that represents all of those values for first, 0 to 4095. Then we'll move it over here. Then we can move it down here. We can move it over here. Move it back up here. Down over here. So this represents the movement on the screen that I want to happen as my values increase. So we can actually move it all the way around. So once we're done, let's hit OK. So this is the movement that we want to put in. So we'll hit OK. And then our size, we'll actually use our size. and we'll use our X and Y again with the same value. And 5. And we'll make sure that we hit this for the same size. There we go. So now our size shape is complete. And then finally our rotation. And our rotation 4095 represents our 0 to 359. So we hit OK. And now again we can position our triangle. Now lastly, we have a frame, and we'll just drag the frame into our unit here. And then we have our frame properties comes up. We will actually hit the advance, and under the advance we have an option, and again our visibility option. We'll click it, and we will select our tag for our frame visible. Hit OK, and then OK again. Now objects are used, or the frame can actually be used to place other objects on it, and then we can create that as one unit itself. So for example, we can create our own buttons per se and group all these objects together. So that's what a frame can do for you. So that's about it. That's our program now done. And now what we can do is we could simulate it, but what we do have is our actual hardware here. So we're going to transfer our hardware over, or our program over to our hardware, and take a look at it. So we have our existing hardware here, which is our EA9, and this is a T10. So let's send this over with the send button, and our transfer mode, we will use Ethernet, and we'll transfer that over. There we go, and we'll just close that out now. So now our program is actually transferred over to our touchscreen. And in the background here, I actually have my Do-More series, and I'll make sure that we are in run mode, which we are. Hit OK. And this is our program from last time. So our tags that we've pre-programmed, let's just move this over here so we can actually see this. And we'll just move down. So here's the following 5 different objects that we have on our screen, and these are the visibility. So we have for our line, we have it for rectangle, circle, triangle, and our frame. And we've used the values X3 to X7. Then we have our control, which uses the XY rotation and size of our different objects by using our analog inputs from our simulator. So we have one for X, one for Y, and one for shape, and one for the size of the object. So we can actually monitor this and view it, or let's just call up to our screen here. We'll select our screen, we'll select object shapes, and what we see is actually a blank screen. However, let's call up our actual simulator, and we said 3 to 7. So as soon as I turn on 3, I see my arrow now up here. 4, you see my square. 5 is my circle. 6 is my triangle. 7 is my frame. And let's just turn everything off except for the arrow or our line. And we said that WX1 is our position on our X. So you can see here's my X as I go from side to side. I can position that anywhere I want or move it. My Y goes up and down. So you can see I can animate this a little bit here. And then we said our WX2 is actually a rotation. You can see I rotate it 360 degrees and move it back. And we can make this grow in size. So now let's take a look. We'll turn off well, leave that arrow on and we'll turn on our triangle. And again, same with the triangle because we've used the same parameters. We see it grow in size, our rotation. So we can do a lot of different things and automate different objects. Let's look at our circle. Once again, our circle. Now, our rotation, there's our size. And then our rotation. Our circle doesn't look like it's spinning, but it actually is. So if it was actually an ellipse, you'll actually see that moving around. Then we have our triangle. Now let's just turn off the other ones for now. And on our triangle, we actually had the movement on only our x-axis. So we had this, and let's just turn the size down a little bit. Let's put it back to our original. So there's our triangle, and as we did our movement, you can see here this is the same movement we did when we programmed it in. So it just moves around exactly the same way as we go from 0 to 4095 and back again. And then lastly we have our frame, which is visible and non-visible. So let's just turn all those back on again. There we go. And you can see we can move them around. We can make them a little bigger. And rotate them. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below. If you have any questions about the video, please leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer it. If you want more information about us or to get our free ebooks on numbering systems or robust data logging, please click on the description below to get it. A new video is put out every Monday, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get more videos like this in the future. Remember to click the bell beside your subscription to actually receive those notifications. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.